Hey, this is Sky. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm in the office taking care of business, paying bills as usual, mind, body, and soul. This is how we get through. Let's do a little check-in, Wednesday check-in, see how you guys are doing. I'll give you two warm weather, summertime colognes that I'll be rocking. One is a clone of Parfums de Marly Sedley. Parfums de Marly Sedley. Now, this is by Lattafa, and it is Mahir Legacy. I don't know if you can, you probably can't see the words, but you'll recognize it. It's got little horse head, kind of an ugly bottle. This stuff is very citrusy, pretty much a dead ringer for Parfum de Marly Sedley. So this is 25 bucks. Sedley costs, I think, 300 or more. You make your pick. Now, this is Valentino Uomo, and I don't remember which one this one is. It's the yellow one. Very good. Let's talk about working out. How many reps do you guys do in a set when you're at the gym? If I'm doing super heavy weights, which as I've gotten older becomes less and less, I'm not in there powerlifting like I used to be. I'm not trying to ego lift or show off for anybody. Me and my brother used to be very competitive with each other and see how much we could bench press, see how much we could squat, see how much we could deadlift. Go in there and load up all the plates on the leg press. If I'm going to work out like that, I'm going to do very low reps. 4, 5, 6 reps. You don't need much. Some people work out to 8 reps, and that's like their thing. I know a guy who's always going to 8 reps, and he just kind of arbitrarily chose that. 8 reps. That's what he does. Some people go to 10. Some people say 12 is the magic number. Go to 12. I like to work out to failure. Now, if you're working out for hypertrophy, there's lots of different reasons why you'd work out. Hypertrophy is basically, in a nutshell, just building muscle. How do you build muscle? People argue back and forth about it, and you have a lot of little scientists on here saying the exact amount of reps and whatever. Some people say that working out to failure is overtraining for hypertrophy. I don't know if I agree with that, because typically I look at overtraining as an overall aspect of conditioning, not something that happens within a set. Just because you add a couple reps on the end of a set doesn't mean you're overtraining. Whatever. But people want to argue about the perfect rep range for hypertrophy, and I feel at least that working out to failure, it doesn't hurt your chances of hypertrophy. It doesn't stop you from building muscle. And a lot of bodybuilders and fitness people promote it. Now, when you work out to failure, you probably have an image in your head of the bar collapsing on you. That's one aspect of failure. If you have a spotter, you can go that far with it. I typically work out without a spotter, so if I'm going to do bench press, for example, I won't use the bar, I'll use dumbbells. And that way, if I get to that point where I can't even push it anymore, I just toss them away and I don't have to worry about hurting myself. However, at least in the gym, I define failure as the last successful rep you can do. And I mean successful, specifically talking about your form. When you're in your perfect form, and you should be studying for the different exercises that you do. What is perfect form? When you're doing triceps and you're doing the cable pull downs, what's the perfect form? When you're doing a chest exercise, where should your elbows be? How should your back be? What is the perfect form? Look into it. For me, failure is the last rep I can do perfectly. When I have to deviate from perfect form in order to push that weight and do something else to compensate for it, I'm no longer doing the exercise properly. And for me, the exercise is now over. Why hurt yourself? So I like working out to failure because it teaches me a lot of lessons. And it helps me think about failure, just failure in life. A lot of people have a fear of failure. I know I have. I've held myself back from a lot of things that I probably could have succeeded at simply because I was afraid of failing at it. I was afraid of rejection. I was afraid of being told no. I was afraid of walking away without that prize, without the job, without the adventure. I was afraid of ending up dead, ending up broke. All these scenarios of potentialities. Well, what if this happens? What if that happens? You got to play it safe, Sky. And if you do that too much, I'm not telling you to be reckless, but if you do that too much, if you play it too safe, you never really get off the porch. You never really get to go out and have the true adventure that you were meant to have, and you miss out on the life that maybe you should have had. You miss out on your destiny. No, it's good to understand failure and to understand what it is and to know when it's happening and to have the proper outlook in it when you're in the process of failing. You're going to fail. Nobody is successful at everything. Nobody's 100% winner at everything. And some people really get butthurt. They really take it hard when they fail. They crumble. They fall apart. They might even commit suicide. I know a guy who committed suicide simply because he felt like he was a failure at life. So when I fail in the gym, I work out to failure. The last successful rep. I realize I'm no longer able to do this exercise in perfect form. I'm now deviating from perfect form. I might be risking injury. This might be a bad idea to continue to do it this way. And as I've gotten older, when I was younger, it didn't matter. You could twist all around and try to push some weight, and your back, your elbows, your neck, none of it matters to you because you're young and you're indestructible. But when you're 53, your back, your neck, your shoulders, your elbows, your knees, all that stuff matters. Oh, you'll find out. So I start to recognize, one of the things about failure is to recognize when it's happening. Some people don't even know when they're failing. They don't even recognize it. They don't recognize it until they're dead, until they're injured, until they're in the hospital. And then they say, yeah, well, that was a bad idea. And they get real mad at the world. I like working out to failure because it teaches me lessons about failure. And I realize that once I give up and I say I can't do it anymore and I put those weights down, it's not a reason to go across the gym and to commit suicide. There's no reason to start crying, sit on the bench and just, there's no reason to do that. That's what a lot of people do after failure. You don't do that in the gym. You take a drink off your water bottle, maybe you wipe some of the sweat off you, you even maybe get up from your machine or whatever you're doing and, stretch your legs a little bit and stretch your back or whatever and get mentally prepared in a couple minutes to do it again, to go back at it again and again and again. And some people say, well, that's the definition of crazy, right? You fail at something, you've been defeated, and you keep trying. Doesn't that just make you some delusional idiot, psychopath, just self-destructive weirdo? No. We don't look at it like that in the gym. You keep trying. And you push yourself to failure again. And then you go through the process of rest and recovery. And when you get used to that realm of those upper reps, when you're on the 10th, 12th, 15th rep, whatever it is, that's where your growth is. That's the hardest realm of the rep range. Oh, it's easy when you first start. But you're growing on that last or the second to last or the third to last rep. That's where all the growth happens. Because that's where the suffering is. That's where the pain is. That's your moment of truth. That's reality. Showing you how strong you really are or how weak you really are. So I like working out to failure because it teaches me a lot of lessons, and I transfer all of this over to my personal life, to my personal growth, and to my strength. And some people ask me, Sky, how come you're so strong mentally? Because I've been through a lot. Just like I'm strong physically. I'm pretty strong for a 53-year-old man who doesn't take steroids or testosterone or nothing like that. I got them old man muscles, but it comes from years and years and years and years, not of winning, but of failing. 6 times a week. Every set. Food for thought.